That's a great suggestion. Absolutely.
Run with it, please.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You can have it. It's yours.
If you have an RFP draft, go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but
We have the coalition that we have with,
you know, inviting fishermen and getting more, you know,
Yeah.
habitat built up and.
yeah, we have for the first
Yeah.
time started looking at
Yeah.
collaborating with outside agencies and all of the grants that we haven't looked at before. Parks is a huge, the mountain park, the river park, all of the investments that we're making are going towards, a lot of it is parks. So that, you know, looking at it from being lower to do some of that, that's a great idea, and we're gonna take that back.
The issues here would be
Yes.
your 404 permitting. You know, we couldn't just go into the
Yeah.
river and grab a hold of the rebar and start yanking it out and doing all that. You know, cause it's not ours.
Well, we can draft a plan.
We
You
can draft
know,
a plan.
'cause
This-
I
this would
feel
be-
like droughts are gonna be happening a little bit more frequently.
This would be a great
so-
year to get somebody to go down and look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And map out where is the dangers between.
Yeah, cause at Pathfinder, they have a canoe route that's, you know, class 2 waterway, and, I mean, it's dangerous. I don't know if you guys have ever floated it, but it's, you know,
Yeah.
you're taking your own life at risk on what should be a family-friendly, you know, canoe or tube ride. I'm talking from in between. I know it's
Yeah.
private property on both sides as well, so that's another hurdle, but.
I'm all for that. That's
I-
my favorite
I
part.
know you are, Sarah.
So is the bottom line, so far, there's no restrictions, but there will be, and if there are restrictions, how will the people be notified?
So, again, there's encouraged conservation, all throughout our drought plan, but technically, there's no restrictions. There's some things to encourage restrictions, like usage over the base amount of gallons. On level 2, there's a 20% increase in the rate per 1,000 gallons for over your base gallons. That same rate in level 3 doubles, again, only for water over your base gallons. So your base gallons is never restricted, even in level 4, the highest level we have. So,
And he
But
may
the
be
current
talking
level,
about-
There
is
is-
voluntary restriction. It's up to you.
Yeah,
But-
but you're talking about like the watering schedules?
well, for
Oh,
example.
yeah, for
okay,
example, would
okay.
be, we get to level 2, the watering schedules, if you are even numbered house, you got an even number, your Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, that's what we're encouraging. If you are odd, it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Nobody should be watering on Monday. But again, we have to get to level 2 before we enact that, and that takes a lot. It's gonna take a lot for us to even get to level 2.
Level 3, no watering of golf courses except for greens and tee boxes once per week. Level 3 is also no watering of parks or cemeteries. So the city will cease watering all parks, cemetery, and the cemetery. We only have one. No operation of outdoor fountains or waterfalls or water features that spray water. If you have a koi pond or something that's not spraying water up in the air, or a waterfall at it, we're not gonna make you drain it. I mean, just keep your koi. No filling, again, this is all level 3 right now. No filling or refilling of residential or commercial pools. No at-home car washing, and car washes will have to be certified to recycle their water that's used in their car wash to be able to continue to operate. Things like restaurants will be told they can only serve water upon request, instead of just bringing water to the table just to start without the customer asking. Water hydrant permits are canceled and hydrant usage ceases. So the city rents out water meters for hydrants for some bulk users for construction purposes and whatnot. All of that will cease. The bulk water station on Railroad Street itself will then in level 3 be limited to just users in our immediate area. An exaggeration of what I'm meaning there is if there's someone in between Canyon and Salida that's filling up at our bulk station, we're not gonna provide water to them anymore. We're gonna provide water to the bulk water station customers in our immediate area.
These levels, how long have they been, how long has this system been in operation? Have we ever used it?
Yeah, well, I can remember twice.
2002, Tom took it to
In
council.
2002, the state mandated cities come up with a conservation plan. So our initial conservation plan in 2002 mirrored the same kind of language we currently have, was based on calls on the river, which is what our current plan is. So for example, level 3 that Brandon just talked about, those restrictions, that's when the Canyon City Public Works and hydraulic ditch rights are called by a senior user, like the Rocky Ford High Line. That means their water is they can no longer divert that water. And that happened in 2002 when the Rocky Ford High Line Canal called the river. And the Rocky Ford High Line Canal is senior to the Canyon City Public Works and the hydraulic, and the Oil Creek, and the other creeks. It is not senior to the Florence Union Ditch Right. So the state engineer directed the commissioner to go find junior users above the Rocky Ford High Line to cease their use or curtail their use until the High Line's call was met. But that's the first time that senior call had ever been made. And that's what everyone's fearful of this year. And if things mirror 2002, some of these really senior calls from down below could affect a lot of users in between.
And maybe Scott, let me clarify then, make sure I'm right on this, and we discussed this, that if, let's say Canyon did get called for one day, we are not automatically just rushing to level 3 the next day for us.
Yeah.
We're gonna see, cause it might be a 1 or a 2 day call.
The other thing is, Canyon City Right, hydraulic ditch 78 CFS. If a junior right call or a senior right calls that right, but they only need 5 CFS to satisfy the senior right, then the hydraulic ditch would only be reduced by 5 CFS. They wouldn't be told they couldn't divert any water. So, but this is all done by the water commissioner, an employee of the state engineer's office, and he administers how those calls are made. So a call on a senior right doesn't mean they're necessarily totally not allowed to divert water. They may only be allowed to divert a certain percentage of water or a certain amount of water. It can get very complicated.
I guess, Brandon, I'll ask you, as a water and superintendent, is it your responsibility to make that decision to move us from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4, or do you need to present before council and a vote will be needed, or?
Not before council, but certainly the city manager has that authority.
Okay.
So Steve was mentioning if there's a call that would put us into, that triggers level 3, we're not gonna make a knee-jerk reaction. A perfect example is exactly what happened a couple weekends ago. On Friday morning, or sometime Friday, there was a call put on that technically triggered us into level 2. But by Monday, that call had been satisfied, and we were actually back, the current call date on the river was a junior one, so we were back in level 1. So talking with Lori that Friday, we decided not to make a hasty decision. We'd see what the current call was by Monday, and if at that time it didn't look like it was gonna be satisfied anytime soon, then we might transition into level 2. At that point, notification. We would do as best as possible to get it out there. We could do things, especially in higher levels of the drought, like reverse 911 calls, to just notify people. It'll be changed on the website. It'll be posted at kiosks, the kiosk here at City Hall and the bulk station. So we'll do our best to get it out there.
I think if we ever get to level 3, it's not just gonna be just Florence news. It's gonna be the state of Colorado news. It's gonna be, you're gonna hear it coming up to it, because it's gonna be such a bad situation. You already got, most people already know that Antero Reservoir is being drained. Aurora's moving all that water, or Denver's moving all that water down to, Cheeseman. You know, so it'll be way bigger than Florence when we get to that point.
I could see there is a lot of people to haul water. I mean, there are a lot of people to haul water, and if that was stopped, oh my God. Can you imagine? It's gonna be ugly.
I think if we get up into those higher levels like that, we will be asking those folks in the area to come in and get a PIN number.
Actually, we're in the process of
doing that
right now.
So they would come in and get a PIN number, so they, credit card and PIN number, so we know they were local. So we didn't have people coming down, you know, from north of Colorado Springs, say, hey, Florence has got water, and they're coming down here loading up big trucks.
You don't have the pot farms anymore, right?
Yep.
They're all pretty much done.
Yeah.
There was also, I know, a big problem with people filling up back on private houses, filling up people's tanks and stuff. As I remember, the one that was bad, the thing is, it's just not here. You could drive from here to Texas and there wasn't a golf course, there wasn't hardly any green at all. But the thing was, people started working on it voluntarily before it got bad to keep it from getting worse. It doesn't come down to who can regulate it or who can pass all the different laws. It comes down to people helping people out. When you're seeing it's getting bad, if you know you've got irrigation that's leaking, or you got hoses that aren't shutting off, or you got a kid that wants to stay in the shower for an hour and a half, you know, you turn that stuff around on your own, nobody else can do it. And pretty soon, everybody's saving water to help everybody else out. You can't regulate that stuff, and there's always gonna be people that are gonna refuse not to do it. But hopefully there's enough of us, because I think it's gonna get down to not being too much fun by the end of the summer.
To add on to what Steve was saying, so in level 3, when we're restricting the bulk water station to just our immediate area, that's the biggest percentage of our bulk water customers is those customers in our immediate area. We would just be stopping anybody, like Steve said, someone up near Springs finds out, oh, well, Florence has water, let's drive an hour and go get some for the first time ever. We would be restricting that.
I just remembered when Penrose, you know, shut off their outside watering. So then all of a sudden you see all these people coming in and filling up just so they could
Yeah.
make their lawn green, you know, so.
Yeah, and believe me, we remember what happened when the chip reader went out
Yeah.
at our bulk station.
Yeah,
You know, that really is how many people in the area.
Now that being said, level 4, the call on the river for level 4 is when, if a senior right to the Union Ditch and Florence's, same water right, the Union Ditch and Florence's water rights, puts a call and we have to restrict pumping. At level 4, that's when the bulk station will be closed altogether. Because if we can't pull our water, we shouldn't be selling water to people that are not even our customers. We need to provide water to our customers. That's our responsibility. So, at level 4, absolutely no outdoor water use. So, and the city pool is closed, and a triple the rate increase on excess usage. Orland.
You know, listen, I as an ag user, I wanna throw my support behind you guys for not doing the wet parade. Because honestly, part of the deal here is that municipal rights as a beneficial use have not been defined. And if cities do sort of hokey pokey things with the water, the ag community will sue, and we will go to court and make sure that that's defined. And obviously, hospitals need water, fire departments, we get that as ag users, but we're in a very narrow definition. Cities haven't quite defined that in Colorado water law. So I think it's a good call to not be pressing that issue and poking bears that will sue, and then give you more restriction on your right. So I think that was a good call.
Kathy?
Has there been any update or further conversations about the AI data center that's outside of Florence? Have you heard anything? Have you talked to the county commissioners about
Yeah.
future planning of?
I've talked to them and they haven't been told anything. As of, well, just after I called you that next day.
Right.
Yeah, they hadn't been, nothing had been presented to the county yet.
Are there any discussions about planning ordinances to restrict for noise and electricity, that kind of thing? that the
Not right,
county's doing?
present time, no. I'm just focusing on this right here.
I wanna go back to the parade again. I think every one of us realizes that we shouldn't have a wet parade. But I think we are all, most of us anyhow, are thinking we should have a parade. Because it is the 4th of July and it's customary to have a parade, and even if there's only 5 entries, it's still a parade. The kids count on the 4th of July parade. We know we won't have fireworks, we know that's an impossibility. And we're not pushing for the wet part, we just want a parade.
Well, there's a meeting, like
Monday.
Brenda said,
Yeah.
meeting Monday, to start talks on that. And
Revisit.
of course, city council would have to.
Yeah, we're gonna revisit.
Yeah, to hear, to go on that.
Okay,
Did
good.
you go down to the Christmas parade? Sue, did you go down to the Christmas parade?
To the what?
Christmas parade.
Yes, of course, I
That
worked
was-
by Christmas.
That was a little put together thing, and that was very.
And it was very cute, and it was well received. So, and it'll only be bigger next year.
I can say on the bright side, we're on the eastern slope. On the western slope, they're worried about water and electricity. Because if they don't have enough water to turn those turbines. And those turbines start at Blue Mesa and they go all the way to Hoover Dam, and that's Vegas, Phoenix, Los Angeles, points in between. So I'm looking at that.
Colorado.
I've noticed the river's low. I'm an ag user as well. We've got a couple 100 fruit trees planted in our place. And I noticed the salinity levels in the water that's coming through Union Ditch and Rainbow Park Ditch is awful high. Are you guys noticing that at your facility, like extra high levels of, mineral content?
No,
Nothing?
no, our process is, doing a really, really good job of
Yeah,
removing.
now you remove it, but I think what he's asking is there more that you have to remove? Do you test the water as it comes in?
No,
Raw water?
the large majority of our testing is finished treated water. There are some tests we perform on raw water, but it's minimal. We do monitor for turbidity, which dissolve solids, minerals and whatnot in the water. We have seen an increase in turbidity, but we've nothing like we've seen in the past. Our turbidity coming into the plant was 1.6 this morning, and 3 years ago we were treating over 5.0 NTUs turbidity coming in to the plant. So it's not phasing us at all, but I guess we are seeing an increase in turbidity, but not exactly sure what that turbidity is, because we don't really test the raw water for.
Are you talking about salinity and nitrates? Is that what you're referring to?
We sent our samples to Boniface with the county. He does the water testing and sampling there. We've noticed when we irrigate, especially our orchards, there's, you know, a white residue this year specifically because the volume is so low in the river. And we're at the very end of Rainbow Park, which is at the very end of Union. So, I mean, we know at that point where we're at, it's kind of a luck of the draw. A lot of that stuff just kind of comes downstream to us. But also, if you go down to the river right now, the salinity on the rocks that are alongside of it, and so I'm just wondering if anyone's looking into, you know, potential environmental issues going on with fish populations and other stuff down there.
That's a, you know, just a natural process that's occurring, because there's no extra water to dilute all that stuff. As the water level stays down low. Yeah, the fish population down here, I fish a lot at the river park. It's gonna get hammered this summer.
Yeah, I know, I'm right by the river park, I know.
There's no doubt about it, because it's gonna be low water, temperature's gonna go up, the salinity, there's no way to dilute, you know, the salts that are naturally in there. Yeah, I'm not sure if we can do anything about that.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering if the treatment plant has, you know, any issues or.
When you see is when that level goes back up and starts dissolving more of that and removing it, then it's gonna come to you then, I would say.
We recently just completed our VOC, IOC, and COC or SOC samples, which is volatile organics, synthetic organics, and inorganics. And all our results came back well below the maximum contaminant levels. We did nitrate and nitrite recently, and again, they actually came back so good that they put us on even more reduced monitoring schedule because our results came back so good.
Harlan, I was gonna ask you, have they already canceled the voluntary flow management water?
It's pretty much, yeah, it's not gonna come.
Yeah, so the water level in the river is gonna be like it is right now. Except one of those times when you have a heavy rain, it spikes it for a day or two, and then it goes back down.
Have they shut down the frying pan Arkansas into turquoise already?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like 100,000 acre feet.
About
a year.
58,000 is what we would have averaged in April, for example.
Okay, and then I heard that they reduced it to 6,000.
Yeah, and then 0 in May.
And then 0, yeah, quick.
So yes, there's no Westport one.
It was reduced from 58 to 0 in like, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, there's nothing there.